HBCU national championship means more to HBCUs than
because of the Chris Paul.
FCS national championship. Only one has won one, and that's FAMU, and that was in '79, if I believe. Most of the schools can't afford the travel that comes with the FCS.
You already put it
have
up.
to go to the home team, and then you're never getting the consideration. That's why they have the Heritage Bowl. Women's lacrosse is a little bit less physical. Can't hit, but it's more skilled. I'll give it. It's kind of sucks. Jacksonville used to have a lingerie football team.
What?
I
used to see those on TV.
I trained the lingerie football league team. I did volleyball knee pads. Nothing protecting the thighs open. And when I tell you, them girls hit.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I've seen.
You put women in this environment,
Yeah.
They are ruthless, bloodthirsty killers.
So for the listeners on audio,
that's Angie.
That's her?
That's Angie
okay,
right
so,
there. Angie gets the ball right here.
Boom! Oh my gosh!
Violence.
Oh, that's wild.
Angie did that. When Angie made ESPN, I think somebody gave her an interview, and then there was one, and it played the Atlanta team. And on God, I swear the Atlanta team was a bunch of strippers.
No, these girls are hitting.
Like I'm saying, that's violence.
Kyle Phillips, wide receiver, UCLA. I'm not benching by choice. I'll be benching my pro day March 15th. George Pickens, wide receiver, University of Georgia. I will be benching I'm not benching. I will be benching not by choice.
Off by saying, man, fuck these people, man. Like Kanye's not all this canceled. They banned me in free speech. Bitch, I have been banned, shadow banned, all this stuff more than anybody in America lately for less. I still I got suspended for 24 hours for a post that I didn't even make that I shared on Facebook of a dad slapping him. And then they suspended, they lessened they told me, Facebook said, Mark Zuckerberg has said, James, for 30 days, you're not going to be your stuff will not show up on people's feeds. So it's directly affecting my numbers. I can share this in 70,000 groups and only 20 people are going to watch it. Or 20 views. It's just, I just realized that as I'm trying to share this, for those who don't know, this is Big Games BS, brought to you by thehumidor.com. Check out my new Christmas. It's gonna be real Christmassy. I got an advent calendar from Oliva Cigars. Basically, it's 25 cigars. We're gonna do that. Me and Miles will be posting videos of that. Then I got my 12 days of Christmas coming up. So what you should be doing is going and finding that man in your life, the best cigar that you could possibly get him from thehumidor.com, and type in sports then at checkout. Hopefully before the holiday season, the website will be back up. It's not my fault. But you can go inside of ABC Fine Wine and Spirits and purchase cigars, telling them that the Sports Den sent you. Ain't going to do absolutely nothing for you because most of the locations won't know what the hell you're talking about. But the ones in Jacksonville will. So, but please go there, purchase that. Purchase your liquor, holiday spirits. Hey, for my guys who chase liquor, here is a really good holiday festive drink. Get you some cognac, Hennessy preferably. If you're rich and just like to waste money, use 1738. The reason why I say that is you shouldn't chase 1738. You put a little bit of cream and some Baileys in it, and it's going to taste like the holiday season. It's got a little spice to it. Just feels like Christmas. It's great. It's, we call it, you've heard of a white Russian. This is a black Russian. We call it the Levishka Chenault, if you will. Actually, that'd be the name of the drink. We're going to call it the Levishka. Hennessy, cream, and Baileys, and that gives you the Levishka. If you can go into the first things, holiday season every year, big games, holiday season, we do gifts for good grades. For my kids who participated in my book bag drive, we basically go out and we give them basically incentives to continue to do well. And a lot of these kids have been doing a really, really good job. I appreciate them having a commitment to doing stuff. So this year we're going to have Target gift cards that we're going to also give to the kids so that they can go maybe to some of the kids so they can go purchase some stuff for their parents. But we're also giving them the gift of good grades. So if you're looking at it, there's it's $30 per gift per kid. You can just donate to MFTK Foundation at PayPal. You could donate to money sign MFTK36 on Cash App. Or you could just go purchase from the links provided. There's one for Jacksonville. There's one for Duval. Appreciate everybody who's considering it. If you can't do it, trust me, a like, a share, or a retweet is just as important in today's day and age as it is the money that you provide, because you may not be able to do anything, but somebody that you know or somebody that you're associated with could potentially do something. We're about $1,500 away from our reach goal. From our minimum goal. And we're about $4,500 away from our reach goal. But either way, people are going to get blessed, families during this holiday season. So I thank you guys for considering it, and I'm going forward. Before we get into the show, there's a couple things that are just completely random that I want people to actually know about. I am a Dawn Staley stan. And if you don't know who Dawn Staley is, she's a women's basketball coach for the for USC. If you go to MIA Heathfield, yeah, you can go ahead and push that. I love good hard coaching. And Dawn coaches, like, if you've never, like, one of the first live shows me and Denny did when we were doing this on Tits In was a JU UNF women's basketball game, like the River City Rumble. And boy, if you think men coaches curse, the things that women coaches say is way worse. Dawn Staley is intense. I really think Dawn Staley could coach men's basketball. Legit. This is what Dawn, like, you can, if you're, I'm on, like, people, you ain't gonna be able to hear it, but I can read lips really well. But like, you can push play on that, Miles, so people can see it. But Dawn Staley's telling this young lady,
put two people on the recipient.
Get your ass in the fucking paint.
Put two people on
and
the
she's saying it with some emphasis.
Put two people on the recipient.
You know what I would have done? I'd have got my ass. I almost got my ass up and got into the motherfucking paint because Dawn Staley said that, boy. Listen, man, Dawn Staley coaches with the passion that you want your kid, not just your daughter, you want your kid to play with. More to it, more things considered. Before we get into this, I am a fan. We talked about Morgan Wallen the other day on the show when we were talking about Marcus Stokes and we were talking about Jerry Jones and how I don't believe in cancel culture. Morgan Wallen is a perfect example of why I don't believe in cancel culture, because even though I don't listen to his music, because I don't really listen to country music, Morgan Wallen is a very good fucking musician. People listen to his music. Morgan Wallen was made famous. It was supposed to be it's the with Denzel Washington. Was supposed to be made famous. It was made famous during the Super Bowl, is when Denny and them called me and said that he used the N-word. As a matter of fact, on Sports then we differentiated the fact that black people do know what fucking context is, whether you guys give us credit or not. Morgan Wallen called another Caucasian a bitch ass nigga. And so they just told me he used the N-word. I said, well, who did he use the N-word to? He used it to another white person. Then I was like, well, how did he use the N-word? He said he was a bitch ass nigga. I said, those are fighting. Did he mean to fight him? He was like, yeah. That when you call me a ban or a pan and you're from the state of Florida, bitch, we throwing hands. Like, it's time to go. Like, that is like was it Shakespearean? Like with the Romeo and Juliet? Do you dare bite your thumb at me? I do bite my thumb, but I bite my thumb in that direction. But is it at thee? I don't know. Bitch, you ready to fight? Morgan Wallen said these words. Everybody was in an uproar. Morgan Wallen did the notable thing, though. Morgan Wallen wrote a think piece telling white people, stop defending me the way you're defending me because you're making me seem racist. Basically what Marcus Stokes is saying. Like, we people are, if they can say the word, then I should be. Like, that is Morgan Wallen wrote a tutorial of how to actually show you're sorry. Racist. I don't need you defending me right now. I need you to shut the fuck up so I can sit this out and let this go away. I say all this to say is Morgan Wallen, if you scroll down a little bit on that, Miles, and I put the Denzel thing where he's smoking and talking to the white dude, my nigga. Morgan Wallen is throwing concerts and selling out and doing all kinds of other shit. You can be replaced, people. You can be set in timeout. But if you are good, you will never be canceled. Morgan Wallen's good. Again, case study. Stop complaining. Stop bitching. Take accountability. Accountability is like vegetables to children to some people. You don't like the way it tastes, but it's good for you. It happens. Now, speaking of children, before we start this on a happy note, kind of, before I get into all this, my sons did a great thing yesterday. While Dad was what was I doing? Oh yeah, while I was out doing sporadics with by Sideline Sports with my man Chris Frazier, Taylor, Chip, and Chip, we were on there doing stuff, talking about the season, talking about bowl games and things of that nature. Go check it out. My sons were in the kitchen cooking. Every Coleman male loves the color red. Starting from my dad. That's why I don't necessarily know if nature or nurture really raises people, because my daddy wasn't there and I got a lot of that motherfucker's traits. So that's got to be nature. His favorite color is red. My favorite, matter of fact, I had to send him a red goat sweatsuit that I really, really liked. And now that says don't make them shits no more. I can't get another one. But and Trey likes red. Me and Trey never had a conversation about what favorite colors are. And you know what Killer likes? Killer likes red. Killer was dressed like a blood Where's Waldo in my kitchen with the striped shirt. He had a red M&M's cap on and a red M&M's apron. And he was in that bitch whipping up some work. The problem with my house is that we buy good meat in my house. The problem in a house full of Hispanic people is that sometimes they don't understand that you're supposed to eat good meat, especially beef, from on a medium or lower setting. Because if you cook it too much, it tastes different. Well, this is basically me in the picture, chewing the steak that my kids painstakingly made. And it wasn't that bad. Could have used a little bit more seasoning, could have used a little bit less cooking. But, you know, after a long day of work, what better to come home to than your 9 and your 4-year-old making you beef jerky out of filet mignon. So that's kind of how we're going to start this show. Inside of the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar. Cigar lounge is like Cheers, but with a mob twist. You can get everything you get. If the Gator Bowl is here, FSU fans, you will be heavily acquainted with this place. CBS Sports headquarters at CBS Sports HQ put out the latest college football quarterback power rankings. And a lot of people told me all year, we need a better quarterback. FSU was 4-0. We need a better quarterback. FSU drops 3 games. If we had Drake May, we would win those games, even though Drake May ended up losing to those teams too. We go down the stretch, and until other people told you that we actually have a good quarterback, you finally listen. Jordan Travis is a treasure that needs to be protected. I can't wait for Jordan Travis to come back. He is amazing. He's a great kid, all these things. But now, maybe you'll believe me as I joke with people say, you don't believe the big black guy with dreads. So maybe you'll believe CBS and the pencil necks and guys who have never done anything in their lives. Caleb Williams, the quarterback at USC, very good. Should be high draft pick next year. Max Duggan, number 2. And number 3 in the nation, according to college football quarterback power rankings, is Jordan Marcellus Travis. Don't know if that's really his middle name, but we're just going to give him a middle name. Jordan Travis is that guy. After that, J.J. McCarthy, C.J. Stroud for Ohio State, Bryce Young for the Alabama University, however you say it, Michael Penix Jr., shout out to Tampa Bay Tech and my boy Jason, Bo Nix out there in Oregon, shout out to my boy Kenny Dillingham, and I don't even know who these other motherfuckers are. But, again, Jordan Travis doing very, very well, balling. Now, if you go to the third one in that on the list, not that one. Yep, that one. Basically, somebody decided that they wanted to go and draw up Jordan Travis's, which would be, if we didn't lose those 3 games, his Heisman Trophy moment. Like every time you go with the Heisman Trophy, they have the Heisman moment. Like this is when the young man won it all. And J-Trav, unfortunately, we dropped those 3 games. So you didn't get that. But here is Jordan Travis basically evading all UF defenders en route to scoring a touchdown that they ended up calling back, but because he slid and whatever. This is Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson, and he was basically untackable in I don't even know if I said that right, in the video game, and he could do whatever he wanted to do. And this was Jordan Travis breaking all the tackles of everybody on the defense of the University of Florida. And and then going into that. That's basically what happened with Jordan Travis. Now, other great news that happened with Florida State as we're getting into this in our Knoll family. Mike Norvell tweets out. Ooh, absolutely love Mike Norvell, man, by the way. Mike Norvell, I love the fact, and I know he listens. Mike Norvell listens. He listens to all former players. And y'all retweet shit and y'all add shit and y'all think that us former players are going to be afraid to speak our mind without realizing, bitch, I did mad drills. Our coach is dead, but we like Mike Norvell because Mike Norvell is not a pussy. Mike Norvell hears the shit, embraces it, and understands what the standard is. So I was having a convo with one of my teammates about that, and I just like it. I promise you, man, as a guy who's not I practice machismo and a lot of stuff. I really appreciate Mike Norvell in that ability to not take things personally when it comes to that. But Mike puts, no family so proud of Patrick Payton for the growth he has shown, investing the work, and people are taking notice. Great days ahead. Keep climbing. Patrick Payton was that kid toward the end, like especially when Jared Verse was out. He is the 2022 ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. Great accolades. He finished with 29 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks over 12 games. He added 3 pass breakups, a quarterback hurry, and a forced fumble in the nose, a lot to a little victory over Miami. Peyton's 4 sacks were the most in the conference among freshmen, and his 5 tackles for loss were second behind teammate Josh Farmer's 6 among ACC freshmen. Peyton set a career high with 6 tackles at NC State, including 3 tackles, a pass breakup on 1 series alone. All 4 of Peyton's sacks were in conference play, one each against Boston College, Wake Forest, Miami, and Syracuse. His 38 sack yards lost were the 6th amongst ACC opponents. His forced fumble at Miami was the first of his career. Congratulations, Patrick Payton, on doing the goddamn thing. And John Papaduck, whatever, however you say, Papuchis, or however you say our defensive ends coach, salute to you, sir. You are churning them out and developing them. I am a big give flowers when credit is due. Like, I want you to have them flowers while you can smell them. Please do not leave. At least give us 2-3 more years before you bounce. Matter of fact, take the whole D-line, if you will. Now, what happened yesterday and what's been happening the last couple of days, and it's going to transition me into some more things, but we'll get into this a little bit later. Deion Sanders has been in the news because apparently he is leaving to go to Colorado, USF, Cincinnati, or he might be staying at JSU. All kinds of black people are in an uproar and a tizzy, and the rival fans are thinking about stuff, which means what will happen to key prospects that he had to buy in to come to the HBCU experience. Kevin Coleman, not Jordan Travis, Travis Hunter with 2 5-star prospects that he got to do the unprecedented thing of coming to an HBCU. And K Camp, who is a graphic designer with Florida State ties, posted, this is probably still my favorite recruiting photo at FSU. It's iconic. What could have been, go ahead and come home at Travis Hunter Jr. He added him. Actually, this was so iconic that people picked on us at first, but literally every high school kid scored a touchdown and started doing this pose. I personally, what I've learned as an old man, and this is the quote Jay-Z. Jay-Z in I think it's Family Feud was the song of his 444 album. Old heads, stop acting brand new. Like Tupac ain't have a nose ring too. Basically, stop trying to think of everything these skinny, all this stuff is just not for us. They're different. You know what our elders did? They picked on us too. I remember vividly, as straight as I was, the pastor in our church would go up there and say, sagging pants started in prison, and that's meant that you want to get your butthole taken advantage of, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't give a fuck. I've never been to prison before. I can promise you that ain't nobody walking around with seeing my drawers hanging out, sitting around thinking to poking me in my ass, unless that man is gay. And that would be stuff that they say, and they didn't like rap, and they didn't like all this other shit. And you know what happened? A lot of us, well, most of us kind of turned it out all right. What I'm learning is a lot of your insecurities of how you grew up and what you're dealing with, your demons on the inside are coming through what you see these jits do. So, like, you need to work on yourself. That's like, now go to therapy. Don't go to church. Go to therapy. Then go to church if you want to. But like, a lot of y'all need some healing. But you know who needs healing more than anybody else? The University of fucking Florida. What the fuck is going on? It's a million things that come across my desk on a day-to-day basis. I was told, James, please don't say anything about this. You can't. You have to promise James. You must promise James. And I said, all right, well, how bad is it? They said, man, hey, man, somebody's a quarterback. He's like, kid in the house got raided at 4:00 in the morning. And I was like, he's like, nah, I'm gonna give you 3 guesses. What's the reason why people raiding your house? And I thought the honorable ones first. You know, all the people whose houses I know got raided were moving weight. Like, they don't, no knock warrants. Boom, kick your door in. You know, flashlights waking you up. Like, you know, guns. No, everybody on the ground. Don't move. Stay down. La, la, la. It's chaos, from what I understand. Luckily, my mother's door was never kicked in. Now, my uncle who just passed, his door was kicked in because my cousins moved weight in Trenton, and it is so often that their door get kicked in. The cousin, my oldest cousin, who doesn't move any weight, when I called him, he said, "Man, shit, I already knew the drill. I heard him down." He's like, "I was mad because I had just got me a Philly cheesesteak from Bud's, which was an amazing restaurant in Trenton, and he was just like, I couldn't do nothing with it." He's like, "I just went on ahead, put it down, assumed the position, and just chilled out." My cousin's a 60-year-old gamer, like. But he's cool as shit. I love him, though. But it happened, though. Stuff happens, man. People don't make the right goal. But Zach Goodall tweeted out, Florida quarterback Jalen Kitten was arrested on Wednesdays on Alachua County on unknown charges. The story will be updated further. Basically, what happened was this young man was out here distributing underage porn. And my boy did tell me 3 things. I said, I got it on the 3rd one, but it was just like, I know he ain't looking at little girls. And he said, bingo. And I was like, damn, that's fucked up. I will say this, though. You never got your door kicked in. It's crazy. They got the kid on suicide watch. They got him on this $80,000 is his bond, which isn't enough. But basically on Wednesday, November 30th, 2022, members of Gainesville Police Department and Internet Crimes Against Children Division served a search warrant. The investigation initiated when a cyber tip was received by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The cyber tip indicated that a Discord user distributed an image of a child's sexual abuse material through the platform. They searched the resident. Detective Montague contacted Kitna at the residence and interviewed him. Kitna stated that he remembered sharing 2 images but believed them to be legal since he found them online. Kitna advised that he realized he should not have shared those 2 images based on the reaction from the other Discord users that he shared them with. Kidna advised shortly after that his Discord account was deactivated and that he assumed someone reported him to Discord. Kidna stated that he received an email from Discord stating that his account was deactivated due to a violation of terms of service. Kidna's electronic devices were seized as a part of the search warrant. Preliminary analysis of the devices revealed 3 additional images of child sex abuse material. The GPD arrested Kidna for 2 counts of distribution of child exploitation material and 3 counts of possession of child pornography. GPD wants parents to be aware that children are solicited and exploited, blah, 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 all this other bullshit. So, basically, as my friends say, he's a nut-ass freak bull. And, it's tough. John Kitna's getting his name ran through the mud. And the thing that sucks about these things, especially it pertains to black athletes. I know. James, why does it always have to be black athletes? I don't know why the fuck y'all do this shit. But, like, if something happens to my sister, nobody's going to say my sister committed the crime. They're going to say sister of James Coleman commits crime. So what's the key piece in that? James Coleman. Now, my name, people who don't read fucking headlines or skim through it are going to think that I did something. And I'm going to get blamed or it's going to get connected to it. So what was the headline for one of these sites? The backup to Anthony Richards. Not Anthony, didn't even spell his name right. The backup to Anthony Richards gets busted in a sting. What the Anthony Richardson is out here minding his business, trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life, and all of a sudden he's on the front page of the Summer Jam screen. Like, what the hell does he have to do with this? Why did you have to bring me into the child porn shit? Keep me the fuck out of it. What's wild in all of this is it's a sad situation. Florida fans are doing what a lot of my conservative friends do, playing the, oh, you should not troll us about this, and then this is child pornography, and man, bullshit. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. It's brand new in the news. Y'all still talking about crab legs. Y'all call us criminals because all we have ever gotten was free shit. We ain't got no, well, Tater Bug was, but y'all don't even talk about the real. We ain't got, like, y'all have literally had a gay killer. You've got a racist. You've had a guy who uses a credit card of a dead girlfriend. You had other people who were rapists. Now you got child porn, and you had a quarterback that was out here saying, my nigga, my nigga. Well, now he's not your quarterback anymore, but he was committed. I joke with the last one because I think Marcus's thing was innocent. But like, yo, like, of course people are going to talk about it. You set it up. You dictated the terms of the trolling. Now, luckily, Florida did what. If obviously this is something that has been going on for a while. You don't just start. Like, it's not kind of one of those things where, like, man, I was into BBC porn, I was into interracial porn, and then boom, I got into child pornography. Like, child pornography is something that is a pretty specific niche. And it's always shocking. I actually had a guy who was a former employee. This is the wild part. Like, imagine Anthony Richardson over there. My former employer, got busted a year ago with child pornography on his laptop, getting his laptop fixed. Imagine if they said former employee of James Coleman busted with child porn. I'd be like, hey, man, what the fuck that got to do with me, bro? But it's sad. Sad situation. It's nasty. It's despicable. And you're right. I'm not going to make jokes about child pornography, but I will make some fucking jokes about John Kittner. Not John Kittner, whatever the fuck Kittner's name. Jacob Kittner, whatever his name is. Yeah, I only know the dad's name. And that's the other fucked up part about being a dad, being a parent. I want to say this because this does come into my thing. So people tell me about social media and these movies and this gay shit is corrupting our kid. I can promise you, no fucking cartoon made that Kittner boy want to watch child pornography. And I can promise you that John Kittner was probably a really good dad, as good of a dad as he can be. Sometimes shit just fucks up. Like, my kids are listening to I was so shocked. I'm sitting here because I know all the cool rap songs. From having a gym, being around these young guys, I know what's out there. Most of it, at least the popular ones. But I heard a song, Count Baby. I'm trying to count up on you. I thought my 4-year-old was listening to Throat Baby. I was about to go over there and slap the shit out of him and throw the iPad until I realized, oh, this is educational. They're taking this shit and making it educational. But then I also look at what my 4-year-old does. I want to educate parents and people who don't understand how these platforms work. The Chinese are not fucking up your kids with TikTok. You are, and your kids are just stupid. I'm sorry to tell you this. It's an algorithm. It literally looks at what you watch, and it gives you more of what you watch. YouTube's the same way. Facebook's the same way. Twitter's the same way. So if your feed is negative, guess what you're going to have? Negativity. My feed has a lot of Florida State stuff on it and Jaguar stuff on it. Guess why? I talk a lot about Florida State and Jacksonville Jaguars. That's why. My YouTube, and Miles can attest to it, is nothing but biographics, Vlad TV, and things of those natures. Because I watch that shit. It gives me what I want to watch. It won't give me child pornography because I don't like it. My son's YouTubes are full of dinosaurs, constellations, and raps that are converted to teach him about educational shit. Your dumbass children's isn't because they like whatever they like or whatever you like. But that doesn't mean that my kids are going to grow up to be politicians. They might fuck up. Players fuck up all the time. It's tough, man. I don't really know. Like, I feel bad for John, and I don't even know John. Now he's got to pay he's got to pay fees for for bond, and he's got to pay for lawyers. And he's gonna have to hire a good lawyer because child pornography, they do not scoff at. And one thing they don't do too, from any prison documentary that I've seen, and he's young. Yeah.
Holiday drive.
Okay, we good on that. But speaking of that, getting into something more cheery because we're in the holiday season and holiday drives. It is a holiday. This is the best time of year for all UM fans. You've averaged, I think, 7 wins over the last 20 years. One of which has a national championship, a national championship and a national championship running it. So that's how bad you've been. But you always win the offseason. But this is some cheer for Florida State fans. Because Mario Cristobal says, and the rumor is that they're trying to get 50 people into they're trying to get 50 new players. So that means they got to put out a lot of people into the transfer portal. But the University of Miami had some news that their fans think is great. And so do Florida State fans. They said Tyler Van Dyke intends to return as Miami's starting quarterback in 2023. Holy shit. Thank the Lord Jesus is the reason for the season. Bring that Dyke back. I want that Dyke to never leave. She about to be 3-0 against Florida State. And Jake Garcia. Have you seen Jake Garcia throw the ball? Tyler Van Dyke single-handedly lost them the game to Middle Tennessee State. At one point, Tyler Van Dyke threw 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns, but not to his team. It was to the other team. Jake Garcia is the only quarterback I see come in off the bench and throw an interception on his first pass. Keep them motherfuckers in like forever. I hope they get multiple COVID years. And what's wild is Drew Rosenhaus is, if I don't even know please don't Kanye me for this. If there is a what do you call it? A Mount Rushmore for Jewish attorneys, Drew Rosenhaus has got to be on there. Nobody steals money better, like from other organizations, than Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus is gonna get you paid, bro. He got this Dyke paid through NIL deals. Anybody giving this motherfucker some NIL deals, you got money to blow. God bless you. God bless you.
He didn't make that top 10 list.
Definitely did. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate to start the season off. Miami fans were saying, we're going to the playoffs because we got the Dyke. He's got a BMW deal. That motherfucker deserves a Yugo deal. Guy, he doesn't deserve a bike. Give him a scooter. Make him walk. Bumping Kanye behind him. Jesus walks everywhere he goes. Sorry ass motherfucker. I love him though. Please keep doing him. So speaking of things going on and continue to go down in a different direction. Again, one Deion Sanders is now being rumored to be close to closing a deal with Colorado. Kevin O'Connell put Deion Sanders has been telling recruits he would be at a school on Sunday. Decision appears to be down to Colorado, Cincinnati, and USF. I believe USF is moving on because Deion wanted control over how the stadium is going to be built and what it's going to look like. There's a lot of other little things that are kind of going into it. Deion Sanders is approaching this in the worst way possible. He's already said that he's entertaining offers. He's already said this, and Tim Lindenfeld, I don't want to take the credit for this. He made this. Deion's going to be the first head coach to put hats on the table and pick. He's going to have his own official signing day. Because, as I have stated, I have known this since 2004. Deion Sanders is about one person. Deion fucking Sanders. Travis Hunter, excuse me, ain't following Deion. See, you only get so many times to make that passionate plea, right? Come follow me. Let's make history. Let's do something unprecedented. Let's bring hope and pride to HBCUs. Let's be the 5-star commit to come to an HBCU. Let's make Jackson State. Let's prove to the world that people can make it to the NFL from HBCUs and make it high. Oh. And then all my HBCU friends were like, yeah, HBCU pride, we back. Why not us? And those of us who know Deion told us that he's going to hurt you. He's not going to be there forever. I can promise you that. But we don't care. Why not? Other people use schools as stepping stones. Yeah, but that's not what you're selling. You're selling why not us? We're just as good as everybody else. And what happened? You're selling that to the 17 to 19-year-olds. But what happens? A grown-ass black man came to your university and literally told you, you're not good enough for what I need. You're not a big enough platform for what I need. I have to go to the white people. See, you bash the 17 to 19-year-olds for this, but you praise the older person. And it comes down to what I have told every adult black person. You wouldn't do it. Why are you expecting a child to do it? See, when that man told Deion that you're not swag, y'all all flocked to Deion because y'all acted like y'all haven't seen how every HBCU coach treated them. HBCUs have always had pride, have always had tradition. Deion ain't doing nothing that Billy Joe ain't do himself. Except for Billy Joe didn't fear the FCS playoffs. Billy Joe was going to go down there, and Billy Joe almost won another national championship. So now what happens? What happens to Jackson State? Are you happy that you had 2 years of relevance nationally? What happens when you got to come back down? What happens to a coach who wants to come in and has been dreaming of being a head coach? Now he has to come in and he's going to see a roster that's depleted if that coach leaves. Because if Deion's gone, you're going to see an unprecedented number of guys hit the transfer portal because they weren't there because of the traditions of HBCUs. They were there because of Deion Sanders. What did he do to help HBCUs? Have you looked at Mississippi Valley State? Have you seen their field? See, when people talk about help, right, it's not about attention. Attention is one thing. They've always had that. Like, I knew where Jerry Rice went to school at. So we already knew about Mississippi Valley State. You want to know something funny about Jackson State? When I talked to the people who know the numbers, their attendance numbers, they already had good attendance. But to sell themselves out, they actually wrote a stupid contract to get him there, where he got a percentage over a certain amount that they already averaged of the ticket sales. What you saw was a university that did everything they could to give a guy his first opportunity. A black university that did everything they could to give a black coach his first opportunity that nobody else would give him. And the minute he got it, and when he get on, he Leo asked for a white girl. And when we told you that was going to happen, you called us haters. The people who actually wanted to see you do well, the people who actually wanted to see you excel, the people who actually truly cared about the culture. You bashed. And now what you'll do is you'll write think pieces. Think pieces like this one. And to be honest with you, it's extremely sad. It's extremely sad. And this is what I'm gonna tell you but I'm gonna tell you what the article. Memo to Deion Sanders. Don't go just yet, Coach Prime. Before I read them, tell you what I said. Have some pride. He already told you the stage isn't good enough. Whether it's this year, 2 years, or whenever you were a stepping stone. We told you he's not doing it for the fucking culture. He was never that. It was always about Prime. Nothing wrong with how he played it. But HBCU should want more. After he leaves, we need to have a really true constructive conversation about how the brands are amazing and how to enhance it. Because you can't tell my son that HBCUs are good enough and praise Deion Sanders for leaving an HBCU. Because what you're saying is you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. It's either good enough or it's not. Now, we can say that changes need to be made, and that is true. Now, one thing I will say, if Coach Sumlin goes to BCU, I like the things that FAMU has done. I really wish Willie Simmons would probably focus a little bit more on FAMU and not just trying to put his name out in the news every given moment. That's just my opinion. Not hating on him. I just think he's like right now you're not helping. And it would be great to see like Eddie George is at Tennessee State. It would be great to see a lot of guys who are fiscally secure be around. But again, just to put a bow on this Deion thing, primetime prep, never coming back to your alma mater until your alma mater has something like that benefits you. And that would be Jalen Ramsey, who they talked about, Jalen Ramsey and Derwin James, who they talked about being like the best DBs that are going to change the game and possibly be like Deion too. I mean, but before that, you went and helped out a rival. Like, I mean, go research. Like, people got mad that they brought up primetime prep when he was looking for Colorado. Like, oh wow, like primetime prep wasn't a clusterfuck. Like Deion didn't assault the principal that he hired at primetime prep. Like Deion didn't get sued. Like hundreds of high school kids went to follow Deion Sanders and got fucked over. And we talk about black power and black culture, and you want to use whataboutisms. Like if he was white, they wouldn't bring this up. What about it? You bringing up the pro-black approach like this man ain't fucked up black people's lives. I hope he has success. That doesn't mean we have to like ignore it. Actually, might be a common theme. He's great here. He's done great things. Is he a good person? I don't know. I would still tell my son if he plays DB that we want to play DB like him. I would just tell him, I don't want you to act like Deion. Getting off of sports for a quick second, then we'll get back into it because I love this time of year. The first of the month brings this potent question that has baffled people for the ages. But it only happens at the first of the month, and I'm also noticing that people it was a week ago we did the calendar, right? Not the calendar, excuse me, the stats, like the male realistic calendar and the female realistic calendar. So people don't realize what money is. And everybody wants this clamoring for this old thing. It's kind of like what's funny is everybody bashed Trump for saying make America great again, but a lot of people are saying the same thing. My granddaddy worked and my grandmama didn't. He paid all the bills. Well, we're not in that era. Your granddaddy could work at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, make a minimum wage, and take care of 10 kids. Shit don't work like that now. It is fiscally irresponsible to not be in a relationship and pull resources. And for women who think they can pay, that a man should pay 100% of the bills, I bless you. I think if you have a man that could do that, you honor that motherfucker. Because you have one of the top 5% of males in America. But I like when I see these young girls that are doing some things and they understand true empowerment. I personally do not want to be the man to restrict a black woman. But let's say and she's one of my favorite rappers right now. I fucks with Glorilla. What does Glorilla have to say about this? Yeah, I want to hear it because Glorilla be spitting, dog. Y'all need to listen to this girl. She ain't thick. Sometimes little booties matter, man. I mean, this husky voice chick was spitting some facts, man.
And you know, some people may want to fight about it, but it's the topic on the 50-50 with a relationship. Me personally, I feel like you supposed to go 50-50 with your nigga, because if a nigga just gets you to the point where like you just feel like you don't gotta do nothing, like he gonna make you lazy and shit. And as a woman, you should want to have your own shit going. You shouldn't want it to be where if a nigga leave you today, he was paying all the bills and now you got this big ass weight on your shoulders. You shouldn't want that. Like, you should be able to like feel like, okay, if you leave, I'm good. If you stay, I'm good. Like, either way, I'm good. Like, and you should want to be a team. Like, the more money y'all make together.
And the team party. She got another. Did you see the other video? She had 2 videos.
One more thing on that topic. If a nigga putting in all the work, doing everything, I guarantee you a nigga is gonna be fucking off. Cause what you gonna do? What the fuck you gonna do when he leave you, bitch? Like what the fuck what the fuck you gonna do if you find out he cheating? But cry. Cause he paying all the bills, bitch. You don't want your bill payer to leave. So how you need to be on your own shit. You need to have your own shit going. And a lot of y'all probably gonna say, he pay all the bills, I still make my money, da da da. Now you need to be in the habit of paying for your own shit. Cause no matter how much you got your own money, all them bills that were getting paid by the nigga, that shit gonna change. It's gonna be a whole financial change for you, because the shit you was spending freely, you ain't gonna be able to do that no more, because now you gotta pay all the bills. And now you can't do what you want to do no more. It's gonna be like a whole life sleep. So that's why I just feel like she should just be at a certain pace, like 50-50, or you know what I'm saying? Like, just like that. Like, y'all.
I mean, listen, man, I'm with you when you're right.
For real.
She's making some sense. And the thing is that what people don't realize is paying bills is about habits and getting into a pattern of doing things the right way.
I'm about to buy her album.
I'm about to she gonna get some streams out of me. Y'all, they say they don't fuck with me, but that's because they can't fuck with me.
Yeah,
bars. Hey man, listen, dog. I ain't even gonna lie to you, dog. When that FNF comes on, man, I'm FREE. I mean, it's just like, I'm sorry, man. Her, Cardi B, like, I'm gonna be honest with you though. You know what? Somebody like that with that energy, what that makes a guy want to do? That makes me want to pay all your bills. Yeah. Like, I want to do more for you. And if I hear somebody say he's gonna pay all the bills, I'm gonna make my money and I'm gonna keep it, or what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine, that made me be like, hold up, man, that motherfucker right here, there's something wrong with him. But like one of the hardest things about being an adult is learning like how do you go get your electricity cut on? Like, you got to go have a deposit for that. You got to have a deposit for a house. You got to have, I can't even see that, mouse. I don't know what Chris is saying.
My wife got 3 kids and she works as a stay-at-home wife, but James said I was in the top 5%.
Bruh. Listen, man. Chris might be one of the few white people that I would let say it. Like, I mean, like, he won't. I know Chris won't. I know Chris. I'll be like, my nigga, dog, you good, bro? but nah, it's like you know, it's a situation where broke people with cash don't worry about this shit. People who are happy don't worry about this shit. Right. Like what if I'm not on? Like, you're supposed to be as she said, teamwork. You're supposed to be working as a team. Like, it's been times when I've been way down. Well, I didn't make the most money in my house. That's been very random, very rare, but that's when you put somebody, if you spend all your time making sure you put that you both are in a position, if somebody falls off, that means you don't lose that. But like, I'm telling you, Paying bills is not fun. It's like one of the worst parts of being an adult. I hate it. But what I hate worse is having another liability. You know, I don't think the women who listen to the raps or whatever, I do blame rap music for this. I don't think they like Meg Thee Stallion is 5'10", I believe, 200, very little fat, and has phenomenal knees. Like, she can do things that probably could, and she's young still. And this is where people should have listened to Kevin Samuels. And there's a guy on IG, Coach Greg Adams, who they get on your nerves sometimes, but they have points. Like, you're not in your prime. Or I have a friend who does have an ability to get men to give her stuff, but she's a beast from what I understand. So, like, but most of you guys aren't willing to do that. And our economy is in such a way that it's not even fiscally responsible. Like, even if one guy did make enough, you should be investing your money to where one day he doesn't have to work that hard. The great poet Bobby Womack, in the song titled "If You Think You're Lonely Now," he talks about, you always talk about what your friend got and what you ain't got. He said you always say I'm working, but when I'm dead and broke, you're talking about what your friend got, what you ain't got, and how I need to go out and get it. Well, girl, I can't be in two places at the same time. And unless you're in a situation like I am, I guess, where I really actually like what I do, it's like, y'all make that work shit sound like it's the seventh level of hell. Like, I gotta go behind. Like, I thought about it one time before I got before my check came, but I thought about it. Actually, no, I'm gonna tell you this. Let's let a more light note, because I don't want people going to the weekend back. Florida has a shortage of teachers, right? And I've told you 50,000 is a lot of money. So 40,000 isn't far away from that. And if I would have probably coached 2 or 3 sports, I could probably go make 50,000. I coach my son's godfather, and they put that in our group chat. And I said, hey man, how much do teachers make? They're like, they start off with like 40, 42, depends where you go. I'm like, cool. What are the hours like? And they were like, I said, can I like work? Can I like, I'm flexible. Do I have to come in at 7 a.m.? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Because I'm like, 40, that's not bad for a part-time job or something like that. And they're like, James, shut the fuck up. Because that's what these guys are, their livelihood was that. And I wasn't trying, I was dead serious. Like, I couldn't use an extra 40. I like making more money. It's not even about the money. It's just like, I like looking at it. And then I realized, like, shit, I would be at a desk 8 hours a day with y'all badass kids. Fuck that. Like, it's just a lot of stuff, just, but that's a sacrifice in of itself. And I'm not just saying men do that, women do that, everybody does that. And then you got to come home and then you have to be a parent and then you have to do all these other different things. I think people are looking, the problem with social media, outside of being an algorithm and reality TV, is that you guys have got exposed to a lifestyle that only a small percentage of people actually live, and you think that's the norm. Right. And that's just not normal. It's just that's all you're seeing, because you're choosing to see that, and you're not choosing to look outside the window at your neighbors, at everybody else. Right. And it was entertainment was always supposed to just be an escape. And you weren't supposed to see this many people's thoughts on a large scale. But now that you see it, and a lot of these thoughts are wishes that get painted or repackaged or repurposed in the idea of a fact that you actually sit back and you think that this is where it's at. Some of the best relationships, and then like when you look at this stuff, like y'all talk about the relationship goal that I would want would be Barack and Michelle. Michelle literally fronted and built Barack up. Like, she was the boss. He was the intern at the law firm. And then he became the president. I'm not talking about the politics of any of it. I'm talking about purely what it is that they did. And I think if you really go back and you look at what your grandparents did, see, y'all talk about what your granddaddy did. Now, granddaddy also had a family across the street, but we're not gonna get into that. And grandmama was fucking the milkman, but we're not gonna talk about that. We also talk about how your grandmama had to sit there and she had to suffer and do all these other different things, which is what Glorilla was talking about. Like when you have willingly become a slave. And the only thing that a lot of you truly feel you have to offer, because you don't know how to build somebody, not just men. Men, the only thing they have to offer is money. And that's what it's really been kind of condensed to. But women, the only thing you have to offer is your sex. And what I always tell people is I'm the worst person to be in a transactional relationship with, because I will return that shit. And I will have expectations if it is a truly if that's all it is. 50-50 is the way to go, in my opinion. But going back to college football, the portal and NIL are today's men's way of just really crying about shit that they shouldn't be crying about. My boy Lawrence Steed put some free game out there. Now, Lawrence Steed knows a lot of athletes, and his son is a baseball player at Xavier University. Everybody keeps talking about how people are entering the transfer portal and how we have record numbers of people inside the transfer portal. Oh, let me find this thing. No. That's fine. It was actually a stat. Okay, so I'm gonna read the statistics because this is what people put out. It keeps saying in 2019-2020 academic cycle, 4,757 football prospects entered the portal, and 1,788 found a new home. 38% of the prospects who entered were placed. 2020-2021 academic cycle, 62,050 football prospects entered the portal. 2,575 found a new home. 41% of the prospects who entered were placed. 21-22 academic cycle, 8,210 football prospects entered the portal. 3,332 found a new home. 41% who entered the portal. In the last 3 years, 19,217 football prospects entered the portal, and 7,695 found a new home. 40% of prospects were prospects entered were placed. Now, what happens is the portal is framed as a place where losers go because they couldn't beat out somebody. That you have a choice. And that's kind of, again, it's so the power of media and the mediums and the things that you choose to listen to. I got to go find my sweatshirt. It's one of my favorite sweatshirts. I would think it's not illegal. One of my favorite phrases is, I don't care what you think. I care that you think. And a lot of you just aren't thinking or applying logic when it comes to the transfer portal or name, image, and likeness. If you don't know right now, and this is what my boy Steve said, got to help some of y'all out. You don't know how scholarships work. At the end of each season, coaches have exit meetings with each player about their future. Some are retained and some are told their scholarship will not be renewed. Quit assuming every kid leaves on their own. So what does he mean? You at the end of the season, you meet with your coach and they tell you about your future. There's 2 exit meetings. There's an exit meeting in the fall, and then there's an exit meeting at the end of spring. And the coach tells you about your progress, what they think you're going to do. And there are some universities that will honor a 4-year degree. Most won't. And they only have 85 slots. So they need your slot to bring somebody else in. So what happens is, I remember when I first heard about the transfer portal, my first hearing about it, and coaches said we're going to put kids in the transfer portal. The reason why you see a huge uptick after the 2019 season is not because kids are getting disenfranchised. It's because what happened when we got COVID, which was the 2020 season. COVID suspended this thing called the APR, which is basically your graduation rate. Before, if a school, we talked about graduation rates for HBCUs on Wednesday. Before, if a school gets below a certain APR, they are slapped with sanctions. You lose scholarships, you lose football practice time, you lose bowl ability or postseason ability. They want guys actually graduated. You get 6 years after graduation, I believe, to finish your degree before you get hit with the APR. So even when guys leave to go early, it's a heavy emphasis on bringing guys back to make sure that they get their degrees so that the next generation isn't affected by it. Well, when they suspended the APR, what that means is, like, after, I believe, 2 years, that scholar, you have to see that kid graduate. Well, now that you don't have to see these guys graduate, you can put a foot in their ass and take them out the door if you feel like they're crowding up space. The NIL didn't make college football free agency. The suspension of the APR is what made college football free agency, or more of what it really is. It's an excuse because you believe that there's a quitting culture, in which I always tell people, if you believe the culture is a bunch of quitters and punks, who the fuck raised them? Because all of us ain't raising goons and tough guys. And what's wild is some of the people who make these comments, I coached your kids. I know your kids. I know you. You should be quiet. But then you've got guys like that where it's alleged that the University of Miami is trying to get 50 new players on their roster. There's 85 scholarship players. You are trying to go and gut, what's that, over 60% of your roster to bring in new people between high school guys and transfers, because now there's no rule. If you have a scholarship open, you can bring in a transfer person. There's no rule that you can only bring in 25 new players, which transfer or high school. You can bring in as many as you want, as long as you have the scholarships available. That's what's fucking up the game. And people stop talking about this transfer portal is messing up high school recruiting, because it's not. What is messing up is, and this is what I've said for 20-something years, some of these guys that these colleges take a chance on should have probably already went to the FCS route. Your kid is 5'9", 165 pounds. He does not need to be at Florida State unless there's something truly elite about them. Go to FAMU. Go to Valdosta State. Go to these other smaller schools and have a great time playing. It is hard. It is extremely hard to play college athletics. Let me tell you what it is. And it is just being in the training business. That's why I told some parents, your kid don't have it. You don't have it. You don't have the mentality. I argue with my 9-year-old all the time. You don't just get it. It happens over time. 6 a.m. workouts to go into the study hall right after that, to be at your first class by either 8 o'clock, by 9 o'clock, to be in class from 9 to 1:45, to figure out how you're going to eat before you have a 2:15 team meeting, to be in meetings from 2:15 to about 3:30 to 4 o'clock, depending on the day, to practice till 6:30, to go to mandatory team dinner, to go back to study hall till 9 p.m., 9:30, to have to go to bed to do it all over again. Now, you get it. To this day, I have no idea how I had some of the fun I had. It is highly regimented. And that's not including if you're on the travel squad as a freshman, trying to figure out how to go to college and trying to figure out how to play at a major level. Because on Fridays, you're gone by noon. So any class that you had on Friday, zip that shit. They already gave you the excuse letter to give to your teacher on Wednesday. Because at noon, you better be on that bus, ready to head to the airport, ready to fly out, and you're going to be back sometime early on Sunday morning. That's not even including what your body has to go through. That's not including that your mama don't wake you up no more. You got to do this on your own. And that's not including if you got in trouble and now you got to go do extra stuff. If I would have known that I would be having the I used to tell these people when I was in training, and I thought I was going to play 5 to 10 years in the NFL. I told them if I'd have known I'd be having this conversation with you, I'd have went to FAMU, joined the frat, and had a better time playing football. Enjoyed my college career. And that's not to deter anybody. It's just a lot of work. And on top of that, every year they're bringing in your replacement. And you got to beat that replacement out. And at the same time, not be a dick because they're a good person. And you have to beat some, and then because you were the replacement that was brought in to beat somebody out. It's not just guys hopping in the portal. I'll even use my alma mater as an example. I don't know what Keyshawn Helton is going to do. Keyshawn Helton is a phenomenal kid. Great kid. Hard-ass worker. Go watch his film from his senior year when he was at from out of Pensacola. Gave work to a 5-star prospect in Tyreek Stevenson. Excuse me, Tyreek Stevens. Not Tyreek Stevens, excuse me. Tyreek Johnson, excuse me. Former 4-star quarterback DeAndre Johnson's brother. Gave him work, who ended up going to Ohio State. Went to Florida State. Worked, actually played and performed, but got beat out by a bunch of guys that came in because that's what good programs do. It's not about being a quitter. There are guys who are that, but Quayshawn Fuller is a perfect example. I thought Quayshawn Fuller had a really good spring. He ended up going to Maryland. I personally think, I get it, though. I get it, but I thought he did pretty decent. But Quayshawn, after spring, got told that I don't know how much your future is going to be here. You got to go do what's best for you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's business. And anybody who doesn't like it, I don't know, man. I seen Thomas Clayton in 2002, after the 2002 season, basically hit the transfer portal because it wasn't around then, but he asked out of his scholarship and he took 5 official visits, ended up going to Kansas State, ended up going to the NFL. Was he a quitter? No. Just wasn't better than Leon Washington and Lorenzo Booker or Greg Jones or the guys who were in front of him. And he fumbled the ball. And my position coach hates fumbling. It worked out for me. He ended up going to the NFL. Guys, the only reason to go to the Florida States of the world is to go to the NFL. I love my degree, but I don't know if my degree is any good. People don't ask me about my goddamn history degree. They ask me about Bobby Bowden. If it was about academics and your degrees, I would have been at Harvard, but I wasn't smart enough. None of us go to college, like very few of us. Wake Forest and Duke are the only schools where you actually have to be smart enough in Power 5. Miami don't even give a shit about your academics. Trust me, I love Leon seriously to death. But that motherfucker, I know for a fact that motherfucker don't got the same University of Miami degree as my best friend Jamila Wade does. What we at, Miles, on that? That's a minute. How long? Oh shit, my bad, man. I went deterred. All right, so I guess we're gonna have to go to Hate O'Clock. Hate O'Clock brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. And I'm gonna touch on a bunch of different things, but go get you a Glock, go get you a Taurus, go get you a Cannon, get you the Pump Shotty, go talk to Z and those guys, get you some, get it. Matter of fact, that's what I need. My sister, anybody listening, I need guns and ammo, or a safe to lock my guns and ammos in. I need a nice safe to put my AR-15s in. I like them. They're cool to shoot. I'm probably gonna go hog hunting next week with the explosives and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go cop me a little Pump Shotty. Give me some more bullets for my rifle, and we're gonna have a great little time. Go get you a bow and arrow or a crossbow. I promise you, man, when you shoot a crossbow, man, a crossbow is where it is at. I love them. But on that note, Green Acre Sporting Goods, greatest place on earth. Sells more than guns, fishing equipment, coolers, all your outdoor needs at Green Acre Sporting Goods. The first 8 o'clock is, you guys obviously understand my hatred of Russell Wilson. Has nothing to do with my love of Future. Has everything to do with my it has everything to do with my hatred of how he's played. He was the starting quarterback of my fantasy football team. I literally tried to like him. But he ain't once who stepped it up at all. And here's the thing. Russell Wilson's wife, Sierra, threw him a birthday party. And this is on the 30th, so a couple days ago. And it's reported about half the team attended. Here's my problem with it and what I'm hating on. We're grown-ass men. An NFL team, it's a 53-man, 52, is it 53, 54, one of them twos, active roster. To have half of the people show up, that means over like 20, almost 30 people showed up to, and that's not including practice squad guys, because the practice squad guys probably came. Shit, I want to eat some good food and hang out with Sierra too. I don't want 30 people at my birthday party. I don't want nobody at my birthday. I don't like throwing birthday parties. I just want to answer this. I want some James Coleman birthday, like literally every year since I've been about 14, 15. Give me my money. Leave me the fuck alone. Give me a Publix cream cheese icing cake. If you want to get fancy, give me the little strawberry filling in it. And leave me be. That's all I ask. Just one day where I can just sleep and nobody bothers me. That's my one wish for all of that. That being said, that's part of my hated clock. But my real hated clock is this. It's been my hated clock. Was it like 2 months now? How long has Kanye been in the damn news? But I'm Kanye's right.
Heavy asterisk.
And yes, heavy asterisk. So Kanye's right because of this. Like, oh, my bad. Hold on, wait a minute. Not the anti-Semitic stuff. Please, no. Now he ain't right about that. Nah, he's not right about that part. Kanye is right about they coming to get him, and here's why. He is doing a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everybody who has backed Kanye is going down with him. Or you got to be crazy as fuck to back him. So, first and foremost, what did I mean? Kanye West came and said, I'm going to speak my truth. They can't silence me, blah, blah, blah. Kanye has literally done everything. And I've spoken before. I'm not going to go rehash it. Kanye is not pro-black. Kanye has proven that he's not pro-black by, and everybody's all the woke people. Again, this is why I say sometimes I was woke before. Doesn't mean I'm closed-minded. Some of the conspiracy theories have you so woke that you get sleepy. And that's what happens when you stay up all the time. You got to go take a nap. So I went back to sleep. I had to take a nap. But like Kanye has said some wild things talking out of both sides of his mouth. And is Pete Davidson Jewish or something? Like, 'cause I don't know why the fuck makes him hate Jewish, because he's like, I hate Jewish people on one end, and then I hate he's like, I hate Jewish people on one end, but I love Jewish people. Jewish people trying to kill me. Jewish people trying to do this and blah blah blah. And then Hitler's great. And I'm like, that's like, this man said Hitler invented highways and the microphone. And as a history major, how do I say this? He was an effective leader, terrible person. And the only reason I say that is because look what he did. Like, that's what leaders do. Like, if you actually go to a military school, you're going to study Hitler. I just got news for you. Like, that's going to happen. Doesn't mean that you have to like love him and you don't follow his mythology. And even the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had went on Donahue back in the day because they tried to hit the great minister with the same thing that they're hitting Kanye with. And he said, no, I said he has done great things, but he's not a good man. He said, because he would kill me too. See, that's smart. That's open-minded thinking. The minister is good at that. Kanye's not.
He's a master of propaganda. You learn
right.
what propaganda is in school through
right.
history.
So Kanye's going through all of this stuff, and Kanye's so out there now that the most out there right-wing people are having a hard time digesting him. Alex Jones, who's made the news recently because he got a landmark lawsuit where he has to pay billions of dollars to the victims of Sandy Hook, I believe, where he's like, holy shit. And every time he tries to save Kanye, Kanye's like, no, what I said was bad. He's like, no, Hitler's good. But why are you bringing this up? Because Kanye is not good enough with just going out on his own. He's got to bring others with him. And I'm just going to use the conspiracy theory because this is what happens when you back the woke. This is what they do to you. They make Antonio Brown beat the shit out of his out of somebody again. Antonio Brown's in the news. Antonio Brown was one of the few people who said, I got Kanye's back. I'm not stepping down as the president of Donda Sports. And what happens to former Raiders and Buccaneers wide receiver Antonio Brown? Gets a warrant for his arrest in Hillsborough County, issued for domestic violence. And then what does he do? He barricades himself into his home. He resists arrest. He says, I'm not going out. I'm not going to be able to do it. See, this is what they want you to believe, that Antonio Brown's crazy. But no. See, this is an attack on when you speak your mind and you speak the truth, they attack you. They bring everybody at you. And then, Stephen A. Coon and Shannon Coon Sharper and then all these unwoke, closed-minded folks are the ones who are spewing the propaganda of the Jewish media to make sure that they back us and destroy us. Bullshit. This motherfucker crazy. Kanye crazy. I'm still gonna wear my Yeezys. I'm still gonna do all that other shit. But if you can't just speak the truth and nobody's in his corner, Kanye's so crazy that he don't even know what the fuck he talking about. He gets up on there and tells Twitter, and this is what I really believe Elon. If I'm Elon, I'm drawing a line here too, where he says, you get that one where he talks about he's gonna take down the porn. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. First and foremost, this is not a kid's show. So if your kid is watching this show, you're a terrible parent. I just wanted you to know that. But Elon drew the line of free speech at, you're not going to make me get rid of my Twitter porn. The Twitter porn is some of the best porn out there, man. If you haven't seen or engaged or got a chance to just watch, I'm going to tell you the game, though. Don't push like. You use your bookmarks, people. Use your bookmarks. Because if you push like, everybody who follows you sees that you like that. Just put it in your bookmarks.
Didn't a coach get caught for liking twerkers?
Oh, man, there's a ton of them. It's amazing how many coaches follow some of these people. But what I'm saying is, Elon said, nah, man, hold up, dog. You could spit anti-Semitic shit. You could do the alt-right shit. You could do all the other shit. But where we draw the line is goddamn, don't you tell me what I can do with my app. I bought this app because of the Twitter porn. It's like, do you know how much they were trying to charge me for brassieres in Pornhub? It's way more than $45 billion. That's, they wanted 47. I know the exact number, but $44 billion is right where I draw the line. And that's good enough to have some top-notch porn. This man who literally had his employees watch his wife's porn has the nerve to say, don't.
Kanye, you're not bigger than porn.
You're not. Porn's been around since before we had words.
Even Chappelle doesn't go after porn.
This is the craziest part about me is when people, like, again, this is why I love religion. I love spirituality and I respect people because, like, to me, I'll tell some people, some of the best Christians I know are Muslim. But I respect people who actually have a code and they actually run by it and they try to live by it to the best of their ability. What I don't like is when people try to sprinkle in it and put stuff. You got a song called "You're Such a Fucking Whore, I Love It," which I actually like the song, by the way. But listen, I love the. Oh, you got if I fuck this model, if she just bleached her asshole, and I get bleach on my t-shirt, does that make me an asshole? I was high when I met her. Well, no, we was up in Tribeca. She get under your skin if you let her. She get under your skin. I don't even want to talk about. Matter of fact, before people bash me, before you bash me, understand, I am going to title and I'm going to ride to get my lunch listening to Kanye. Because Kanye's not canceled. Kanye has done some shit to offend people on their platform with their toys, and they choose to not play with Kanye. That happens every day. Like if my youngest son has a friend named Jeffrey, if Jeffrey and Kai beefing, Jeffrey not coming over my fucking house. Period. We didn't cancel Jeffrey. We just not fucking with Jeffrey right now. Now, if Jeffrey and Kai become friends again, Jeff can come over the house. This is how it works. Why are y'all so crazy? Why are y'all so sprung? Y'all would I kid you not. People are over here like was lauding, like messing with Jack Dorsey because he was banning people. How dare you ban 4-5 who literally like, and I don't care that he banned him. I don't care that Trump's back. But like, dog, January 6th was a wild time. Yeah. And my man was live tweeting the events, like egging that shit on, bro. Like, you got to admit, like, the rules are you can't condone violence or incite a riot. That's like in the James, how do you know what the laws say? Because, bitch, I have applied to get reinstated 10 times. And each time they tell me my tweets were shown to promote violence or incite a riot, which was none of that, which is wild. Because y'all know me. Y'all know me. It won't defend my free speech, but don't know 4-5 or Kanye and will fight vigorously for them motherfuckers. And they wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire, but I'll give you food from a food drive. I'll give you some tickets. I'll sign an autograph for you. And what's wild is I can meet 4-5 tomorrow if I wanted to. You can't. And y'all be so ready to fight and defend these guys.
Another troublesome thing is we saw this happen when Chappelle took his trip off or whatever. The media painted him as crazy. So we've seen it can actually happen.
Right.
We're wasting our time with these.
We're trying to believe because we've seen it happen before that it's happening right here. But what's crazy is everybody keeps canceled. I don't think the English language has words and words have meaning. What does cancel mean? Just I'm going with this CANCEL. Cancel definition. Decide or announce that something would not take place. Neutralize or negate a force or effect. Boycott, withdraw support, all those other things. So maybe you want to do that. But like, here's the thing. You can't mute Kanye on Twitter. That bitch gonna come back. And stop trying to use things that don't add up. Balenciaga has pedophilia shit. I don't know the first time I bought a piece of Balenciaga. I'm not spending that kind of money on that dumb shit. It's kind of like when Jay-Z was told to boycott Barney's because they forced that little black boy to not like he couldn't buy shit or something like that. And Jay-Z had the greatest thing for it. He's like, black people make up like 4% of Barney's bottom line. What the fuck is boycotting Barney's going to do when they're giving me 25% of all fourth quarter sales to go toward my scholarship fund for HBCUs? What I mean by that is all the black people in America, all Americans can boycott Balenciaga. Balenciaga still won't make numbers because that's what they wear over there. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't have to have an opinion. Like, we don't have to care so much about stuff, especially things that don't affect us. But last thing, when Kanye, before he went out, he decided that, you know what, because really all of this comes down to is Kanye's marriage got ruined because of Kanye. And Kanye decided that he wanted to ruin somebody else's marriage. And so what did he say? Chris Paul fucked my wife. I caught Chris Paul with Kim Kardashian. Chris Paul over here eating his dinner after a game, and he's like, he sees that tweet, and he's like, oh shit, baby, I don't know what he's talking about, baby. He ain't on his meds, baby. He ain't doing what he's supposed to do, baby. I don't know what this man talking about, baby. Baby, it ain't me. Baby, it ain't me. It wasn't me, baby. It wasn't me. Before I leave with all of this, is you brought up a good point, Miles. We've seen this happen with Dave Chappelle. We've seen this happen with other celebrities, allegedly. We've seen guys trying to promote a vision or something, and they get killed off by they or the Illuminati, which we never say names. So we can't fight Ghost. Right. But if Kanye didn't drop College Dropout, Graduation, Watch the Throne, some of our greatest hits growing up, you know who Kanye West would be right now? Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown has been spewing the same bullshit, and we just know he's crazy because he was a child actor and all other kind of stuff. But like, basically, I want to leave all you people with a quote from another one of your leaders, Orlando Brown, and this is just how I feel about the Kanye situation. Kanye's crazy. Kanye don't give a fuck about none of y'all. Kanye wouldn't piss on y'all if you're on fire. Kanye is leading his own self-destruction, self-fulfilling prophecy. Probably going to end up, unfortunately, doing something very, very detrimental. And that's basically all I got to say. And that's on this right here.
I don't give a fuck who say what, blood. On Crip. I don't give a fuck who say what, blood. On Crip. I don't give a fuck who say what, blood.
And that's basically what I have to say. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say, blood, on Crip. And if you, to my Pilgrim fan base who doesn't understand what that means, the Bloods are a gang, aka the Republicans. The Crips are a gang, aka the Democrats. You're not supposed, on blood is like basically on my gang, and you're not supposed to mix gangs. So that's basically the end of that. But the good morning part and the end of this all on a good note is that sometimes don't let being married prevent you from finding your soulmate. And I don't watch Good Morning America. I had no idea who these motherfuckers were. Let me be honest with you. To be honest with you, the look of this guy, I'm actually shocked that he likes women. But apparently, Good Morning America host. Damn, I can't even find the name. I just saw the picture. But I think one of the guys' name is TJ and somebody else. So basically, we're running around New York City like Ghost and Angela in the Power TV series on Stars. This is why it's dangerous to have. Oh, that's my work. That's just my work husband. That's just he's nothing. I do this. That shit has never been cute. Nope. And then you find out that they took a romantic getaway after all the times they took. Like, it's all right. Let me just give you the game, guys. Men, don't take romantic getaways during the holidays, which is side piece. Same thing with the ladies, because both were married. She's married to an actor. This guy's married and such a bad husband that he even put on their 10-year anniversary 2 years ago that my wife is a strong black woman, been dealing with my shit for all these years, and I'm so grateful. Like, bro, that's not how you're supposed to say happy anniversary. Like, thank you for dealing with my shit. Like, you're supposed to be like, my lovely wife, my bride, blah, 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 blah. Don't say shit. I'm with you if you don't say shit. Like, but you don't act like, but they're going on these trips and like right after Thanksgiving. Come on, dog. And y'all both, they literally work together, not work. So like, they'd be almost like, so I do First Coast News. We have a dope ass anchor that does the weekend, and her name is Destiny. It's not like me and Destiny don't work together. I work with Chris. Destiny's like on the 11 o'clock. Me and Chris do all sports. These two are literally with each other all the time. They sit right next to each other. So when both of them are gone on a vacation or whatever, it's going to be a noticeable difference, right? Noticeable that they're gone. And my man, at first I thought it was the woman, but women do get scorned, but women don't have a photo album worth of people cheating on them. This had to be initiated by her husband. Her husband literally took like 70,000 photos of them on a romantic getaway. Some of the pictures were so great, man. Like, this is how I know this one's love, because He got, you know how you got that woman when they saying that laugh? Like basically, actually, is that on their mouths? This little run around gift? That's not them two, but that was them on the vacation. They're just frolicking. He's whispering in her ear. She's giving that ugly that laugh right there. Men, if you've never gotten a woman to laugh like that, bro, you don't know what you missed. That you were in there. They're showing clips of them together at work. On God, they my man got so free game. So when a man is around a woman, they got that wide gap stance. Like it's the same thing with women. Like it's a comfortability that comes when you kind of just like most people, you know, you put your legs close together, but when you be showing that print and you just letting that thing, you like that. This man, like it was like, yeah, he done got some head. He done smashed that before. But this is why I always advise people in media, my friends. Keep barriers between women and men coworkers. I have a lot of female friends who are amazing, they're gorgeous, but I'm not gay, nor am I trying to mess with what they have going on, or nor do I want them to mess with what's going on in my personal life. So you have to make sure you set barriers and you keep a professional courtesy and dignity. Now, the difference between the what happened with Boston Celtics when consensual sex was being had with two adults and they got rid of their coach, and Nia Long is coming out saying that I really didn't want my business out here on Jump Street, basically saying that they had an arrangement. Good Morning America is basically letting these two work like nothing happened. And apparently both sides are saying they're in preparation to get a divorce and they're going to live happily ever after. So the moral of the story for my alpha males, don't let your wife have a work husband.
Yeah, not at all.
Like work husbands are not the move. But I'll end this, and I meant to say this with the Glorilla thing. And this is probably what happened with the guy TJ. And I'm going to give him, yes, it's because he's black. Black men don't cheat. But yes, I'm going to just say this is what happened. When you pay, this is from the prophet T.K. Kirkland. You will pay some of the bills and I'll be faithful, or I'll pay 100% of the bills and I'm going to cheat. That's Free Game by Big Game, brought to you by TK Kirkland. Ladies, 50-50 to move because if you don't pay 50-50, it's a woman who want that man to pay 100% that's going to be out there. So if you're paying 100%, you better be ready to do 100% of the work because, you better keep that man happy. But on that note, man, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Recruiting is happening, good football games. I'm actually going to chill out on a Saturday for the first time in quite some time. You go to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, go smoke you a good cigar, go buy some guns, go to Goodfellas, basically help support my lifestyle. I appreciate you guys chopping it up with me for this hour and a half or however long we've done this because there was a lot going on. And we'll see you guys next week.